these arms?
What up, Mike? Toronto.
Don't break my chair, Hayden.
Okay, on the beat. Check. I'm in Toronto, where you wanna get the city love. I'm from Toronto, where you wanna get the city love. I'm in Toronto, like we wanna get the city love. My city love me back for my city love.
Welcome to episode 1336 of Toronto Mic'd. Proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery, a fiercely independent craft brewery who believes in supporting communities, good times, and brewing amazing beer. Order online for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. Pumpkins After Dark. Use the promo code TOMIC15. TOMIC15 saves you 15% at pumpkinsafterdark.com. Recyclemyelectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. The Advantaged Investor from Raymond James Canada. Valuable perspective for Canadian investors who want to remain knowledgeable, informed, and focused on long-term success. Season 5 of Yes, We Are Open, an award-winning podcast hosted by FOTM El Grego and Redley Funeral Home. Pillars of the community since 1921. Today, making his Toronto Mike debut, is Hayden. Welcome to Toronto Mike, Hayden Desser.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Is that your voice? Okay, only because I'm going to have to boost you, but you...
That is my voice. I'll get a little closer if that helps you.
Yeah.
Can you put that Ridley effect on me? I like that.
Redley Funeral Home. Hayden,
You did that with your voice? I thought you added reverb on the mixer.
Listen, that's my voice. No reverb.
No, that's the talent.
Is that true? Because that's high praise from you. I can't believe you're here. Nice to finally get you on the show. I think it was 1,335 episodes. It was just like an excuse to convince you to drop by for a chat because I've wanted to talk to you for a very long time.
Oh, nice. Well,
you don't know it's nice yet. How do you know it's nice?
No, it's nice. The sentiment is nice. The result might not be good at all.
We'll find out here. You're very curious about, like, there's gifts on the table, and you actually brought me a gift, and I told you to give it to me on the air, but you're like so, I don't know, humble or whatever that you're like, no. But do you want to do a quick gift exchange before we get into this?
Sure.
Is that cool?
Sure, we could do that.
And here I got like music for us, okay? Because can you name the composer of this song? It's tough because I don't know if this is your jam or not, but want me to help you out?
Frank Sinatra?
No, it's a. I know. Frank Sinatra's a good cake song. They use it in a good episode of The Sopranos.
It's Vivaldi-like, but it's not. It's I don't know. Let's say.
It's a good guess.
Let's say Bach. Jesus, it scared me.
It's a jump scare. It's Halloween time. Yeah. Hayden. This is Hayden.
Oh, Hayden.
Hayden. Oh, is that how you say it? Fuck, I'm so stupid. Okay. It's like Hayden without the E. Hayden. Okay, but you're Hayden, not Hayden.
Yes.
Because I just learned Randy
so the
Bachman.
Gag wasn't great. It wasn't a great gag.
But the sentiment was good.
Yeah, exactly.
I have Randy Bachman on the show. In my entire life, like 5 decades of my life, I've called him Randy Bachman, and I've just been told it's actually Randy Bachman. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that. See?
There you go. You're learning today.
Never too late.
Have you ever met Randy Bachman?
No, I have not.
Okay, see, that's the first tough question here. Okay,
it's amazing how many people I've never met.
We're gonna run down a list of people, and you tell me. Have you met Anne Murray?
No.
Okay, we're gonna burden coming.
Keep going. No.
There is a Canadian legendary.
You have to leave the house to meet people, though. That's the problem.
You don't like to leave the house just for gigs.
I like to sometimes.
But you're a busy man. Okay,
the mood I'm in.
We're doing the gift exchange, and then my last guest on the show is a guy who went to Thornlea Collegiate, and then I mentioned, I promote the next episode, and he's like, make sure you shout out Thornlea. So you went to Thornlea, right?
Why do people need to shout out their high schools?
Why not? Like, life is short, Hayden.
Well, honestly, if it wasn't for my band in high school, I wouldn't have had a ton to say about high school.
But that's something. Like you.
Yeah, well, I think I'll shout out my band.
Okay.
Not my
Shout
high
out.
school.
Do that. Shout out your band. Come on.
I forget the name.
You do? Was Noah Mintz in this band?
Yes.
Okay.
You know he was, because he like went on and on about it. I'm sure.
Did
in
you
a good way.
Did you listen to Noah Mintz on Toronto Mic'd?
I meant to.
You never did?
No.
So much love for you in that episode. I'm actually.
Yeah, I mean, can we just? Do you have the greatest hits that I could just hear now?
No, because I'm going to play a song and ask you about it and see if your story matches up with his. But you and Noah Mintz.
I hope it's not.
Yeah, well, just listen. You're here now. You're in loving hands.
This music's making me nervous. Does this have to be behind us?
No, it doesn't have to be. So, okay, well, I'm going to save the Thornley check because Noah comes up in this first song I want to play, but I do want to give you just a few gifts because you're here. And I'm glad you're here. And I should just disclose that this is not the first time we've met. We've actually met a few times this past summer, and it was a pleasure getting to know you.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
It was fun for me to get to know you.
I'm sure it was.
All right, let's do this. Right. You're welcome. That's what you're saying. I can't believe you've never met Anne Murray. Like, I feel like all Canadian rock stars are like all hanging out together. You've never golfed with Anne Murray.
No, but I did grow up in Thornhill, and I remember we used to skate at a pond just off of Yonge Street, and everyone used to say, Anne Murray lives just over there.
See, so I thought you'd have a connection.
That's the closest. It's really something.
Did you know she's a hell of a golfer?
They know. I could see that, though.
You know.
Oh, also her nephew was in my band once.
Well, you see how this works? Yeah. I drop in a random name, and it turns out it leads to a couple of interesting, discussion points. Now we know that you grew up near Anne Murray's place or whatever, and that you had Anne Murray's nephew in your band.
Yeah, Dale Murray, a member of Cuff the Duke, and he played with me along with those guys for a couple of years at least, and he's a great guy and an incredible musician.
And do you think I would have got that story if I didn't shout out Anne Murray?
No, wouldn't have. That would not have come up.
Giving you gifts, you're going to give me a gift too. I insist upon it. And then we're going to chat and you're going to have a good time. You're in loving hands here. But I get the sense from your career, which I've been following since the early 90s, that you don't love press. Like, you're not a guy who likes to do what you're doing right now. Am I wrong?
No, not really. I don't. I think I just always had this thing where, I realized that part of this career choice was the idea of having to talk about what you're doing. And I just always felt that I put what I wanted to share into the world into my songs. So anything after that, I just felt I wasn't strong at communicating verbally in an interview setting. I would either be, if I was hungry, I'd be in a bad mood. If I was tired from being on the road, I would be rude to people. I wouldn't open up. Sometimes I would say too much and regret it. You know what I mean? I never felt overly comfortable discussing my music or my career in this setting. So I gotta go. Bye.
And that.
That's it.
All right, so much to unpack there, but one of the things is, seriously, be honest with me. This is the land of real talk. I don't get the bullshit. Yeah,
wait, that was very real.
This is coming out. Okay. Like, how do you feel right now? Like, are you hungry? Are you tired? Would you rather be anywhere else? Like, do you feel comfortable for a little chat here? Yeah,
this is fine. As the years have gone on, I'm a little more okay with it. Okay, I'm not like
you didn't come here because you're like, oh, like this guy, like our kids play on the same soccer team. I can't say no to this guy. Like,
no. I mean, I'm not super excited to be here, but I'm like, it's fine. It's good. You're nice. It's fine.
I'm nice enough. Okay, so we're taking the temperature now where you're not super excited. And then in about an hour, I'm going to find out how it went for you here. But here's some gifts here. So you said sometimes you're hungry, you're in a bad mood, but I'm sending you home with so much delicious lasagna from Palma Pasta.
Is it
In
just sitting here like getting
no, it's an empty box.
cold? Okay.
So the actual frozen lasagna is in my freezer, and you're going to leave with it, and it's going to feed the whole family. And you'll have leftovers, and you're going to love it, and you're going to write me a note and say, Mike, that was the best lasagna I've ever had from a store.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I like that.
So thank you, Palma Pasta. And I don't know if you partake, but if you do enjoy a fresh craft beer, I'm sending you home with delicious fresh craft beer from Great Lakes Brewery.
Yes. I have a case of their I'm being paid for this, but I have a case of their gin in a can
It's
situation, the little green one, green and white can.
Yeah, that was very popular.
That is a good one because all of those pre-made canned drinks are always so sugary, and that's the good thing about that one. Anyway.
That's good, man.
Yes, I'm familiar with Great Lakes.
Okay, so Great Lakes going home with you. Delicious, fresh craft beer. There's a speaker here. Like, I mean, you can give it to one of your kids, or you can enjoy it yourself. But this is a Bluetooth speaker, but it's a quality speaker. You're going to dig it, and that's courtesy of Moneris. Because with that wireless speaker, you, Hayden, are going to listen to season 5 of Yes, We Are Open, the award-winning podcast from Moneris, hosted by FOTM Al Grego. You're going to love the sound that comes out of that thing, and just connect it by Bluetooth. And then make sure, though, tell your kids they got to listen to season 5 of Yes, We Are Open, which is a great podcast that'll inspire you, where Al Grego talks to small business owners. And that's
I'm going to tell my kids to listen to that.
Thank you. And while your kids are listening to podcasts, I just want to shout out the Advantaged Investor from Raymond James Canada, now available, hosted by FOTM Chris Cooksey, and you can listen to that as well. All right, Hayden, we're going to get into it, and then I got some more stuff for you later. Oh, one more quick thing, since I'm giving you all the gifts off top, and you're going to give me something. This is a measuring tape, man. You never know if you have to measure something. That's courtesy of Ridley Funeral Home, pillars of this community since 1921. So how do you feel now? You came here, you got gifts. You can't leave now. Now you owe me.
What's the connection between a funeral home and a measuring tape?
Just that the measuring tape makes your life easier, and then Ridley Funeral Home makes your death easier. I just made that up. Like, is that good? I just like pull it. But it's not just handy. Hands up.
Dark.
All right, I'm ready to receive my gift before we dive into Noah Mintz and Thornley here.
All right.
What would you like to give me?
Well, a few months ago, I took the lyric. Well, no, actually, during the pandemic, when things were a bit dark for everyone, I thought it would be a funny idea to take lyrics from my 95 song "Bad as They Seem" and put on a hat. Things are as bad as they seem.
Love it, and I love that song.
And oh, thanks. Anyway, so I brought it for you. There you go.
Thank you, Hayden. Honestly, that's really cool because I loved it at the time, and I still love it, and we're going to talk about that song. But let's start with this. I need the definitive story. So I know you're like, oh God, he's going to play it. Yeah, I'm going to play it, and you're going to talk about it. And shout out to FOTM Noah Mintz. I know you don't like the shout-outs, but I do the shout-outs. But let's listen to a bit of this, and I got questions for you. You can't leave now. I gave you lasagna.
Take me home.
Also, I enjoy this song,
Take
even if you don't.
me with you. Take me home. Take a part of me. Take all of me. Come with me. Get away from me. Please agree with me. Disagree with me. Come with me. Get away from me.
Okay, this is Take. I have questions. All right. Is this part your submission for what, a CFNY new music search competition?
Yes.
Okay, what do you remember? Like why did you enter, and do you remember what the prize was? Like, what do you remember from that? I think it's a 1993 new music search.
Well, I remember a couple things. I slowed down or even stopped playing music and writing music when I went to Ryerson for radio and television. And during that time, Noah, who was playing in Head with Brendan Canning, they started doing quite well, and I would go to their shows, and it was just a really fun situation, and the whole grunge scene was happening. It was an interesting time, and I don't know. I it's possible I was inspired by how much fun Noah was having, because we were quite close, and then also what was happening with the East Coast at the time. It just inspired me to maybe to want to play music again, basically, because I was focused on filmmaking. I had done some music videos for Noah's band as well.
No, hold on.
Yeah.
Pausing you for a moment, because Rob Johnston, did write in when he heard you were coming on Toronto Mike. He wrote me a note to say, my good classmate from RTA. I remember when he would bring his guitar and gear into the audio studios. So Robbie J remembers you might have been dabbling at RTA.
Yeah, see, that's funny, because I mean, God, I'm not known for my memory. Let's just say that. But I don't remember. It's funny that it's quite possible. I mean, I'm not going to doubt him, but yeah, I don't remember that. I always felt they were separate, but maybe towards the end of RTA, I did start playing again.
So your good
That
friend from
actually
Thorn
makes
Lee,
sense, actually.
Noah Mintz, who's been on this program. People can find Thorn Lee's, it was a great episode, by the way, mainly because there was a lot of Gian Gomeshi stories in the Noah Mintz episode of Toronto.
Well, Noah's awesome, so I'm not surprised. It was a great episode.
You guys still close? Still friends?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, so people can go there to hear all the details. But one fact that is kind of a mind blow if you were there in '93. So that's on. So speaking of Head has Happy. Happy's on that '93 New Music Search CD, and Hayden's Take, and that's not you singing on Take, is it?
No, I
This is like Court.
Yeah, I was doing a long-winded explanation.
Oh no.
Anyway, I guess I was getting to why Noah is singing on that song. Is
Okay.
I borrowed. I think I lent Noah an electric guitar for one of his tours, and he either lost it or broke it, so that when I asked for it back, he gave me an acoustic guitar back. I believe this is what happened. And I also borrowed a 4-track recorder from him. And because I had an acoustic guitar for the first time since I was like 13, I had my first guitar my parents bought me an acoustic guitar at 13, but I sold it a year later for a digital delay pedal because I was really into the Edge from U2.
Of course.
Anyway, because I had an acoustic guitar, I started playing and recording in my parents' basement. And that being said, I was never the singer of my high school band. I never really sang much at all. So when it came time, I wrote this Take song, and I decided to get Noah to sing it, and our friend Lorraine Ursa Marzo, who
she's great.
is great, and a great friend who ended up, when I started playing shows at places like Future Bakery and the Rivoli and stuff, Lorraine would sing, and other people would sing my songs, and I would just play. So
for a period of time, was that maybe the plan that you were going to be like, have guest singers like Mike and the Mechanics or whatever? You just bring in these like other people to sing your songs?
I guess so. I guess I don't know if I thought my voice was terrible. I just didn't see myself as a singer.
Interesting.
And then I believe I had booked a show, and a couple of people that were supposed to sing didn't show up, and I was like, okay, I guess I have to sing. And then a couple people in the audience, like the only 2 people that were in the audience, were like, "Oh yeah, that sounded pretty good."
Yeah.
And then that was all it took. And then I was like, fire all the singers. I'm the lead singer.
Yeah, you can do it yourself. You don't need them anymore. That's like Noel Gallagher, right? When Liam wouldn't show up, and then Noel have to sing the songs and realize, he could do it fine. He wrote them. He can sing them.
Right. Yeah.
You're Noel Gallagher, man. You're the Canada's Noel.
Thank you.
It could be worse. Okay. So that's meant to be a comment. So who wins? Do you have any recollection? You don't win this New Music Search in 1993 from CFNY.
No, because Noah's band won. Yeah, they won $100,000.
That's amazing. I know like Bare Naked Ladies won it one year, and then they made Gordon.
Is that what yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was an interesting time in Canadian radio. Long gone.
But do you remember who at CFNY might have been like your champion or your contact? Like, do you remember any of the personalities at the time that might have been helping you get exposure?
No.
No memory from the CFNY 90s. Okay, not. All right, so Noah's on take. You don't win, but Noah wins with his band Head. Now we're going to talk about the lyric I see on this great new hat you gave me. You ready for this? Because this is, I think, I would say, yeah, I had the 1993 New Music Search CD, and I actually loved, like, legit loved Take. Like, I love that song. Although I thought it was you singing. I didn't. You know, you fooled me for many decades. You fooled me for a long time, but I won't disclose how long. But okay, this is the jam I think most people would remember from either your local alt radio, like alt rock radio, like CFY, or Much Music.
Girl of my are as bad as they seem. She is only 16, and that's why she's only a dream. Woman of my dreams lives right down my street. Has a daughter who's 16. That's why she's only a dream. What do I do this for? I've got to get out some more. Go down to the grocery store. Meet someone I'll adore.
I actually don't even want to fade it down. I'm digging it. And I'm curious, what do you feel when you listen to this version of this song in the headphones, Hayden?
I don't know. I mean, just now I was focused in on the drum part for some reason. Okay. I have different things every time I hear it, you know. Yeah. This song definitely, like, spearheaded the direction of the following 30 years, that's for sure.
Much Music video of who was telling me this? Was it Cam Gordon? I think Cam Gordon's the guy who went to Thornley, and like he's explaining to me like the location of this video is like 2 blocks away from Gian Gomeshi's house, and I was getting this whole like Thornhill history or something like that. And then I guess Stu Stone's dad was running like a Sluggers memorabilia, like sports memorabilia place. Anyways, it all connects. Shout out to Stu Stone, by the way. But here, I promise we're not going to spend 90 minutes on this song from Everything I Long For, but I do need just any information you can share with me, and I'm going to read some notes from people who love it as well. But like, do you remember writing it? Do you remember filming the video? Do you remember like seeing it for the first time on Much Music, hearing it for the first time on CFNY? What do you remember way back in the the early to mid 90s here?
Well, I definitely remember the video because it was, you know, I fancied myself as a director at the time. So I remember like writing out all these storyboards and the idea of setting up my bedroom inside the Rivoli on the stage. And I remember we did an invite for people to come and be in the video. So there was a crowd of like, you know, awesome kids in the audience. I do remember also, I think we were kicked out at some point in the day. I think they were setting up for a sound check at the Rivoli, so we went out to this like school parking lot behind the Rivoli, and the whole crowd came out and sort of sat and stood in the pavement of this schoolyard, and I played a bunch of other songs outside. I remember that. Yeah, it was an exciting time because things were, you know, even before this song was sort of known or whatever, I was just having a great time driving my Tercel to different shows, and making little newsletters, and just feeling this this grassroots fan base grow. And it was a really exciting time.
Steve Leggett wrote me an email when he heard you were coming on the show, and I'm going to read it to you. It's a very, very nice email. Steve writes, Mike, so glad that Hayden is coming on the show. Hayden was a super important artist to me when I was younger. His album, Everything I Long For, is probably my favorite album from the entire decade of the 1990s. I'm pausing for you to just drink that in, okay? All the albums released, OK Computer, Nevermind, Fluke. I have to throw in Fluke. All these great albums. I love Fluke. All these great albums. You and I were at a soccer game, and I was talking about Rusty, and you're like, you don't even know any Rusty. And it's like, well, how can Hayden not know Rusty? But
No, but then you sang one of the songs, and I was like, no.
Well, because I can't sing. Shout out to Ken McNeil. Okay, so the continue with the...
I remember Rusty. I'm joking around.
Okay,
All
see,
right.
you have a very dry sense of humor.
Yes.
And sometimes I can't tell if you're joking or not. You have to touch your nose when you're joking from now on. Is that okay?
No, I'm not comfortable with that.
These songs, I'm back to Steve now. This is not me, but those songs are both beautiful and rocking. A true Canadian masterpiece. What I'd like Hayden to know is that his current music is also every bit as important to me, and he has done a terrific job of continuing to make terrific music many years later. No Happy Birthday, a song about his daughter, is the most beautiful and touching song I have ever heard. Not all artists are able to make important music as they grow and change and get older. I am looking forward to the Dream Serenade. Steve Leggett.
Wow, that's really sweet. Wow.
I'm going to play a bit of No Happy Birthday because he shouted it out. And then I actually going to ask you about Dream Serenade now before I get back to my thing. But just a little bit of the song that Steve Leggett considers the greatest song he's ever heard.
I've been waiting, I've been thinking, I've been wanting to sing you this song. I know you may not understand my thoughts, but you'll know where it's coming from. Grab your guitar or your maraca, play with me on your wooden drum. It's no happy birthday, but it's my way. Maybe one day you'll sing along. And as you go through life, they may be unkind. I won't always be there by your side. That's on my mind, yeah, that's on my mind. That's on my mind almost all of the time.
Hayden, please tell us what No Happy Birthday is about.
Well, it's initially it was written as a way to communicate with my daughter, who was born in 2009 with developmental disability. She has a missing chromosome, and she's nonverbal. She's still nonverbal, and she always used to respond really well to when at birthdays to Happy Birthday, the Happy Birthday song. She loves that. Like, was known as her favorite song even when she was like 3. And so when I went to write a song for her, I thought I should incorporate the words Happy Birthday into the songs to get her interested in it. So yeah, it was just that was the idea behind it. Yeah.
It is a beautiful song and a very touching song. And your daughter, who I've met a few times, laughs at my jokes. Good sense of humor.
Yeah,
I'm very funny.
She's awesome, and she has a great sense of humor. Yeah.
Very funny. Now tell us about Dream Serenade here. Tell us what prompted you to start Dream Serenade, what it is, and maybe tell us a little bit about the upcoming Dream Serenade at Massey Hall.
Yeah, well, Dream Serenade was in a way a response that my wife and I had to when we first found this school for our daughter called Beverly Street School, and our daughter went there for kindergarten, and the years leading up to that were pretty scary and dark, and we were trying to navigate what it meant to have a kid with exceptionalities, and it was complicated in many ways. And when we arrived at Beverly, the staff, the principal, the teachers, the social workers, everyone there just was so welcoming. And it was such a relief that we felt that after a few months of being there, we just, we had a discussion like, what could we do anything to help this place? And one of the great things they had there was this Friday music program that every Friday afternoon, three of the teachers would play ukuleles and guitars, and everyone would come into the main room and listen and sing and play drums, and the kids just loved it. So with that, in combination with us being appreciative of the place and wanting to do something, and then the final piece was me having very, very strong memories of performing at the 1996 Bridge School benefit, Neil Young and Peggy Young's annual benefit show for their child who had exceptionalities, and how I felt about that. It all came together for us just to be like, hey, let's try a benefit concert. And that was 9 years ago.
Well done, Hayden. And fellow, I know I keep dropping FOTM, and you're like, what the hell is FOTM? A friend of Toronto Mike, you're now in FOTM.
Nice. Thank
can't
you.
even get out. Can't even give it back. Like, it's already happened here. But a fellow FOTM is Torquil Campbell, and I see on the bill you got stars on the bill. But you want to shout out some of the artists at this year's Dream Serenade? And I mean, is it sold out? Like, can you still get tickets?
You can still get tickets, but it's getting full. It's quite full. Stars. So excited. Amy Milan's played before solo, and she's so incredible. She's a great supporter of Dream Serenade. She's the sweetest person ever. Anyway, so yes, the whole band, Stars, are playing. I'm very excited about that. Serena Ryder is also playing with on her own, and also with William Prince, who's incredible. He did Serena's coming back. She's played it before, and also William Prince played it when we did a virtual version from his house or whatever. But he's so incredible, so I'm excited for him as well. A fellow from England named Howard Jones.
That's a big deal.
I can't believe we got Howard Jones. Yeah, I think Kevin Hearn is friendly with him, and he set that up, and I'm very thankful. So that's awesome. Kevin Hearn is joining as usual. I think he's done every year, either with Bare Naked Ladies or with various projects that he's involved with.
When are you going to reunite Look People for a Dream Serenade, and then Kevin Hearn can play with James B?
Oh, interesting. Well, that could be up to him too. Yeah. Maybe he'll do that this year. That would be good. And then a band that I played with over the summer at Hillside, and they blew me away as people and as a band. Daniel Romano's Outfit, they're incredible. So they're gonna bring the rock and roll to Dream Serenade this year. I don't know. Am I forgetting someone? I don't think so.
But is amazing.
But also,
because you're on the bill too.
Oh yeah, I'll play some songs. We also have surprise guests, and those are always kind of crazy. We've had some great folks show up, and the surprise element is always a blast.
Have you ever been surprised by the surprise guest, like you didn't know they were coming?
No, because I'm I'm one of the main organizers. But the year Gord Downey was a surprise guest, in a way, was a bit of a surprise because we didn't know up until the night before if he was going to be up for it, because he was doing the Secret Path show at Roy Thompson Hall, and we just didn't know if he'd be able to. And then he did, and it was something I'll never forget. He opened the show. He just came out with the band, and it was so powerful. It was something else.
Amazing. There's a great episode of Toronto Mike with Kevin Hearn where we talk about his relationship with Gord in those final years, and that's a beautiful episode, man.
Well, Kevin's a special person. Gord was one of the most special people I can imagine. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so Dream Serenade, excellent, excellent music, but excellent cause, and maybe there's a couple of tickets available, but jump on it now because it's going to sell out super soon. But good on you for that initiative. That's an amazing event you got there. So,
thank you.
Congrats, Steve. Okay, bringing you back to Everything I Long For, because my question is that an independent release? Like, do you like you're not with a label for Everything I Long For, right? In 1995.
Well, Everything I Long For was a combination of some recordings from a cassette that I had put out before that called In September, and then I went back in with my friend Joa Carvalho, and we re-recorded a couple things, including Bad As They Seem. And he was quite involved in those the additions to that record, on songs like Drive and Bad As They Seem, as I said, and a few others. And he played drums and I think bass on a couple songs. Yes, it was independent when it came out on CD originally, or right when it came out, or a month later. Sonic Unyon kind of became the record company that put it out. My buddy's also a friend that was in my high school band, Josh Malinsky, who was in a band called Polito with my other friend in the band from high school, Mitch Roth. They were on Sonic Unyon, and they spoke highly of those guys, and they were all part of that scene. So it was an easy fit, and the guys at Sonic Unyon, they're great. They were great at the time, so that just made sense. So.
Here's a question I've been holding on to since 1995. You ready?
Yes.
Did you consider putting Take on Everything I Long For?
No, because that just I don't know. I think because it wasn't me singing, it just didn't make sense. I felt like Take was just this one-off thing, and I think I lost my I didn't love it too much. I had this thing also early on where there were some songs I would write, and I was so quick about putting them out that sometimes there was a bit of regret, and I'd sort of try to erase the history of them. So
interesting, because you talk about the indie cassette In September, but you did re-record some of the gems on that for Everything I Long For. So I wondered if there was a moment where you're like,
if I was going to re-record,
I should,
sorry,
because you could sing it. As you discovered at some point, you can sing.
And
FYI.
I did sing it. And I used to sing it live, early on. Yeah.
Right, because as far as I know, it's tough to find. Like, I happen to have a copy of the 1993 CFNY New Music Search compilation or whatever from 93. I have that, but most people, you can't go buy that at online or whatever. It's like it's not on a single Hayden. Like, I'm just curious, you can't find that on a Hayden album.
No, you can't, and you can't find it on streaming. Yeah, there's.
So you know what you have to do? You have to find the video on YouTube, which is how and then you get the potato quality. But here I am telling you what to do. But but
there's also there's one of my I guess quote most requested songs live is a song called Trees Lounge, and that is also not available on streaming sites. So, there's some things going on. Oh, there you go.
I was hoping you'd say the magic words. It's like Pee-wee's Playhouse. If you say Trees Lounge, because I was going to ask you about this, but just a bit of Trees Lounge, and I got questions about that. And I have a question about a name you just dropped, Neil Young.
I sit here in trees lounge. I pour it in my mouth. I need something to forget. Got me in this mess, feeling less and less. Judgment is not here. I do things that I fear I would never do.
How do you end up on the soundtrack for Steve Buscemi's film Trees Lounge? Like, how does this come to be?
Well, first of all, I haven't heard that in a while. It's a very Our Lady Peace snare sound, isn't that? It's like
I always wonder how often an artist hears the old stuff that you can't even find on freaking Spotify right now. But I think it sounds great, man.
No, it sounds cool. It's well, the quality of the recording is not that great, but the drumming, I'll tell you this, is that okay, well, I'll tell the whole story, I guess. I don't know. I was just, at that time, it was right after I signed my American record deal and publishing deal, and through the business folks, I got this request that this Steve Buscemi had a finished film, his directorial debut. It was MCA Records. They were putting out the soundtrack, and it was filled with very old music, like Brenda Lee and the Ink Spots, stuff that's incredible.
Sure.
And I guess they were looking to have something more contemporary on the soundtrack with the hopes of maybe selling some copies to younger people, and they heard the buzz about me. There was
an absolute
business
buzz about you in the mid '90s.
So it was like a kind of like a BS kind of entry point to being involved. But what the beauty of it in the end was that they sent me the finished movie screener. I watched it, and the night that I watched it, I wrote the song, taking one verse directly from the script of Steve. So he became a part writer of the song. I think 4 days later, I was in a Toronto studio, booked a half day. Unfortunately, I don't remember who engineered it or anything, but I do remember that Glenn Milcham, Blue Rodeo's drummer, awesome guy, he drummed on the song and was just killer. He's a major part of the character of that song. And then I just I filled in all the other instruments, and we did it very quickly, and then sent it to Steve's people, and he loved it. He was very excited, and I think either because of us sending him the song, or even just before, or when the label said they were going to contact me, I forget the timeline, but he either got really into Everything I Long For or was into it. That detail I don't know, but he in the end started getting into my music. So, and then 3 weeks later, I found myself in New York co-directing the video for the song with him. So
that's wild.
Yeah, it was wild.
Steve Buscemi. Wow. Okay, Everything I Long For. You mentioned indie release, and now all of a sudden you're talking about this U.S. record deal. So what do you remember about this? There was a bidding war, right? I mean, the famous story I always heard is that Neil Young, like the buzz on you was big, and I hear you doing the harmonica, and I'm thinking, that's the next Neil Young I'm listening to right here, Hayden Desser. Like, what's that buzz like when people are like, you're the next Neil Young, and having Neil Young make you an offer? Like, what's that story?
Well, it was such a bizarre time, and everything sort of happened. One thing would happen, and then the next, and then the next. So like if I'd gotten rid of the 6 months before Neil Young leaving me a message on my answering machine, my mind would have been absolutely blown. But because of what happened in the 6 months leading up to that, I was very excited that he had left a message, but I wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? It was just,
I actually do know what you're saying.
It was such a weird time, but yes, it was incredible that that happened. I mean, and it's also completely bizarre that I chose not to be on his label.
So why did you like? I mean, when you get a call from Neil, you accept the charges, right? This is. Well, I've never got a call from Neil. Although in my whole charges. That's a Simpsons quote. Okay, sometimes I'll drop lines and they're coming from the Simpsons. But okay.
Yeah, well,
that's like half my vocabulary. The first 8 seasons of the Simpsons, right? But this deal, this is the Geffen Records, right? This is the $1 million deal. Like, any regrets? I'm curious, because going back there, if this buzz, next Neil Young, bidding war, Geffen Records, you just seem like a pretty low-key artist here, and it's like, I don't know, like, did you any regrets about signing with Geffen?
No, I don't live with regrets. The only thing that happened because of the way everything went down, and I don't begrudge anything, because I'm a very, I was very lucky about how everything went down, but the thing that sort of could have been better in a way was just how I was presented in the rest of the world versus how I was presented in Canada. Everything happened so naturally, and there was no initial hype about me when I was first introduced in Canada. But because everyone had heard about all these labels wanting to sign me, it was just naturally what happened when Everything I Long For came out internationally is everyone was like, okay, impress me. Right. And so
sky high expectations, because the buzz was so palpable.
Yeah. And I wasn't this grassroots artist anymore. I wasn't this guy driving to shows by himself and playing between loud grunge bands. I was just this thing. And then it was also in the time of the sellout, the indie sellout, and how powerful that term was at the time. You know what I mean?
Like Green Day?
Yeah, like just anyone that was on a major label was like a whole section of the population. You're just like, no, not for me. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. I wasn't, because I felt like an underdog leading up to that, and then all of a sudden I was on the other side of it. And I at the time judged people, artists too, who came out as these major label, like, oh, this is the next big thing, and I'd be like, yeah, impress me or get lost. So
right.
Yeah.
Did you always stay based in Toronto? I actually don't know. Did you ever like go to LA or New York or something?
No. Yeah, I stayed in Toronto.
Did you ever think about it, like, okay, now that I've got the US record deal, it's time to, I don't know, be the next Neil Young, I got to move to California?
No, I mean, truthfully, when Neil Young moved to California, it was at a time when you really did have to kind of do that.
Right.
So it was a different time, to be fair.
Right. Okay. Now I'm going to read a note. Again, it sounds like we're going to just talk about everything along for, but we're going to cook with gas at a moment here. So don't lose hope here. But I do want to read a nice note that came in, because these listeners are excited you're here. Brian K writes in, songs like We Don't Mind, Skates pull me in, and I feel like I'm right there in the story. Are there songs you wrote that play out experiences you'd rather leave behind?
Songs I've written that
Yeah,
have
and he had a
stories.
follow-up, which is, are there any that were never played beyond the recording that people yearn to hear? Oh, maybe that's even a better. Like, are there songs in your catalog that people want you to play, but you just don't want to play? Maybe because of maybe there's a story in it that you don't want to revisit. I'm curious. Like in that famous song, in Bad as They Seem, it's like, she's not 16 anymore, right? Like, you made an edit. As you aged and
live,
live.
I changed that, and the number keeps going up the longer I do this. But there's been some songs like there was a song on my cassette, and there was an earlier version of the Everything I Long For CD that had 16 songs instead of 14, and there was a song called Bunk Beds on that was a sort of a quote fan favorite in the early days that people still yell out at shows that I took off, but not so much because the story was too hard to sing or inappropriate or anything. It was just, I just found it to be silly, so I took the liberty of removing it from an album. And then there are some songs, early songs that I don't sing. They just, with like any artist has that though. There's some songs that make the cut and don't after a while. It's just how it goes.
Does anybody ask you to play Freebird?
Yeah, that's been yelled out a few times over the years.
All right, there's a song on. So I actually wrote about this on TorontoMike.com because again, Everything I Long For it hit me at the right time. A lot of times in album, not that it wouldn't be a good album if it hit me at a different time, but I was like literally like 19 years old when I picked it up, and so it just kind of like hit. And I think you got maybe you got a year or two on me, but it hit me. And there's one song. I'm just going to play a bit of it, and then I'm going to tell you the song I pair it with, and hear your thoughts on that. This happy little ditty.
When I was younger, a part-time job worker, department store center, I saw a man enter. He was middle-aged, deep lines on his face, tired mouth and eyes glazed, eyelids just half raised. And I look at him, he looked at me. He looked so sad, I had to say, what did he want? What could it be? What had he been through before me? Seeing him in the store I worked for that year.
So that's Skates from Everything I Long For. I can hear your vocal cords there. You can't sing that first. You can't sing it like that. Your voice wouldn't last the show.
That was never a first song of the set. That's for sure.
I don't know what the chord it strikes, pun intended, the chord it strikes in me though, but I just fucking love listening to that song. Like, I just love it.
Wow. Yeah, that's great.
Did I see a shrink? What?
No, it's, It's funny that I say that a middle-aged man. I mean, I'm now older than the guy buying skates.
Do you want to hear? That's funny too. But you want to hear the song? Well, you're older than Wilfred Brimley was in Cocoon. That's a fact.
God.
We don't get any older. We're never going to die.
Was I telling you about that? No. My friend Howie Beck, every like month he sends me another text about like what famous actors, like you're now. This is a thing. Yeah, you're now older than the Golden Girls. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Oh man, they're all gone now. Okay, I'm going to play the song I pair this with. You know, we talked a lot about Neil Young in this episode for good reason. I love Neil Young, but here you go again. Listen to that.
He looks so sad. I had to see.
All right, so I'll bring down skates. Here's the song I would pair it with.
That's funny.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
It's coming on Christmas. They're cutting down trees. They're putting up reindeer and singing songs of joy and peace. So I wish I had a river I could skate away on. But it don't snow here. It stays pretty green. I'm gonna make a lot of money, then I'm gonna quit this crazy scene. I wish I had a river I could skate away on. I wish I had a river so long I would teach my feet to fly. Oh, I wish I had a skate away on.
So yours truly, this might be very, very subjective, this observation, but I pair those songs together. I like your skates with Joni Mitchell's River.
Yeah, well, that as soon as you put that on, I got goosebumps. That's a stunning song, and that record, Blue, is in my top 5, consistently top 5 records of all time for years. Yeah, that's a good pairing.
So that's a bit of a Christmas song, and here's a awkward segue for you as we listen to Joni in the background. But this is Halloween season, and I just want to let the listenership and you, Hayden, know that the award-winning Halloween event Pumpkins After Dark is in Milton right now, running through October 31st. You can buy your tickets right now at pumpkinsafterdark.com and save 15% with the promo code TOMIKE15. TOMIKE, MIKE 15. Save 15% on your Pumpkins After Dark tickets. Happy Halloween, Hayden.
Thank you.
I was wondering how you respond to that. Okay. And I want to...
That was weird.
Yeah. I wanted to get you back in the game here. Okay, so also there is a wonderful website called recyclemyelectronics.ca, and if you go there, you can find out a place near you where you can drop off your old electronics, your old devices, your old tech, so it can be properly recycled, and the chemicals don't end up in our landfill. So don't throw out your old, I don't know what you got, an old 8-track player, Hayden. Don't throw it in the garbage. It might be broken, but you can recycle it at recyclemyelectronics.ca. And last, but certainly not least, that's everything. I'm happy you got your lasagna, you got your beer, you got your Ridley Funeral Home measuring tape, and you got your speaker from Moneris. So you're good. You got lots of goods to take over.
I don't have any pumpkins or recycled electronics.
You can recycle your pumpkins, but you can just put that in the green bin. Don't worry about recyclemyelectronics.ca. Great question came in from Tyler. This is for you, Hayden. Big fan of Hayden. Excited to hear your... Okay, Hayden's a good friend of the show, and I told him that your son and my son play on the same soccer team this summer. Big fan of Hayden. Excited to hear your fellow soccer dad on the pod. Would love to know more about Hayden's relationship with the National. I really enjoyed his co-write with Matt on Matt's solo album. What can you share with us about your relationship with Matt and the co-write there?
That's a pretty simple story. In the early 2000s, late 90s maybe, this guy named Brandon Reed would sneak into my shows in Philadelphia. And so I met him a couple times in Philadelphia. And then I think he did sound at a small club there. And we exchanged numbers or something. Anyway, he called me in 2008 to tell me that he was in town doing sound for this band called The National at the Opera House, and would I want to come down and see them and say hi? And I'd never heard of them at that point. So for some reason, I left the house that night and went, which is bizarre. And I watched them play this record, Boxer, and I was kind of blown away. I was so into it, and it was just right up my alley. And then I went backstage to the dungeon part of the Opera House after their show and met the guys, and they were just the sweetest people. And I think all of them were fans of mine. They had all sort of gravitated to certain records. I remember Matt in particular, and maybe both the Dessners. Closer I Get was the record for them.
Right, your 98 album.
Yeah, and it was just they had found that at a meaningful time in their lives, and they told me about that. And anyway, I think like 4 months later, I found myself touring Europe, supporting them. So,
and Matt has supported your Dream Serenade.
Yeah, Matt and Aaron played once. They played the very first one, and they're the reason that Dream Serenade started so big at Massey Hall, and it didn't start at like the Rivoli or
the Lee's Palace or something.
Yeah, because they generously came aboard very early, and then I was like, okay, well, we could do quite a serious thing. So anyway,
that is an amazing venue that you guys have. It's part of it. Just
well, Massey Hall is incredible, and it's also like it's a way to also entice artists, right? It's not just this is this cause and it's great, and now we have the history of it behind us, but it's also like, would you like to play Massey Hall?
Right, you don't have to say, hey, we're at Sneaky D's on Tuesday night or whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, and then Matt's Serpentine Prison project played a couple 2020 as well. So very generous to the cause. And anyway, once again, long story short, him and I have been throwing song ideas back and forth to one another for I think like 8 years now.
Let me ask you this. So I saw the National at Budweiser's stage this summer, and I was wondering in my mind, like, is there any possibility like Hayden's here and maybe makes a cameo appearance or whatever? But were you at that show?
I was at that show, yeah.
Okay, I think they should have brought you on stage to sing the co-write there.
Well, the co-write's not a national song, though.
No, that's true.
It's
that is
Matt's
true.
Solo song, yeah.
That is true.
But anyway, I got up with them in at Massey Hall when they came in the Trouble Will Find Me tour, maybe, and I sang Spiders, what's it called? Anyway,
oh, you can sing? Okay, good.
I don't remember that. Anyway, it was really fun. It was really fun.
All right, to bring us more up to speed here. So you mentioned The Closer I Get. That's the follow up to Everything I Long For, and you did work with some big producers on that. Like, so what was it like? Now that you've got the big record deal and you're making your first album, I guess, under the new record label, you can have all these big name producers working with you.
Yeah, I'm a weirdo. I wasn't like, I gotta like use the best crazy people that I have made records that I've loved. I kind of like the whole process of that record was me sort of dipping my feet into things, because a few people around me were like, this could be your one opportunity to work in big studios in these classic places, and you really should. And then on the other side of it was me like, oh, but I record on a 4-track, and it's the only way for me to be authentic and to keep things in my little world inside my head. So there was a lot of like back and forth of like not committing to do a whole record with someone, but do like, maybe we'll do 3 songs at Ocean Way with this guy, or maybe I'll go to Seattle and do like 3 songs with this guy. I just was dipping my feet.
I get that.
And unfortunately sometimes not fully engaged in the recording, and so like 1 or 2 songs would come of it, and then I would take it back to my house and like play like 45 guitar tracks over something to try to make it feel like it was more mine, and not that it wasn't. But anyway, it was a very strange, long recording process of like a lot of try this, take away that, go to this, try this version of that. So, but by the time the record was what I was comfortable putting out, I was exhausted from trying to keep it mine, and in the end I did keep it mine, but it took its toll. I was quite done by the time that record was out. And
there were a bunch of I'm assuming there were a bunch of Hayden fans who kind of just want more, like Everything I Long For. Like they just want more of this like sort of bare bones folky rock thing that you're making on your 4-track player or whatever.
Well, yeah, the big ingredient that was missing from the new record was there was none of that screaming, the growly grunge
teenage
element.
angst had paid off well, and then you were bored.
Well, yeah, I wasn't bored with it. I was just like, I'm honestly, I'm just like the worst faker. People can tell.
You're allergic to bullshit.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it like I'm so great. I can't. Like, some people I know are really great. Even if they show up at a party, they've had a shitty day, they can be like, hey, I cannot do it, so I should just stay home.
And that's why you don't like to do these interviews, because if you're hungry, you can't. You're hungry, and if you're freaking tired, you're tired. You're not gonna,
Yeah, I'm a bit hungry now. Is it
okay?
Listen, sure, there's no lasagna in
it's
here?
frozen. You're gonna break your teeth, Hayden. Okay, you got a dental plan? What's going on at you rock and
roll? I do not have a dental plan.
So be careful and you make sure you cook it first. Okay, that's an order here. All right. Do you have any of the, that Skyscraper National Park in 01, right? The story that floats around is that you had 100 handwritten, packaged, and numbered copies that you gave to your friends and your family, and like, you got any of those still, or they've all been enjoyed by other people? Those initial.
Yeah, 100? No, I have like a little personal stash of everything that's rare, but yeah, those were interesting, and I truly, when I made those, I had made this record because it was, healthy for me to create, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to get back into music and as a professional thing.
Interesting.
So that was just me.
But what else would you do? Toes. I know your dad's like a professor. He's like a famous, parasitology. How do you say that word?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, so
the study of parasites.
And there you are, you've decided I'd rather be like a starving artist or whatever. But was there any pressure to go into academia? Like, you got your degree from the TMU, which was called Ryerson, of course, at the time. But did you ever think, wait, maybe I should just go, do something like my dad?
Well, the whole idea of going to Ryerson was in a way me trying to have do something that would be a backup plan to the pure arts. I mean, I was inspired to go to RTA or to TMU originally because in my last year of high school, I had my own radio show at CY. What's the
CI?
the York one.
I never remember the name of that one.
Yeah, well,
I know the Ryerson one, and I know the U of T one.
Oh, this is.
I'll Google it. While
it's
you,
weird that I can't. CIUT? No, is
No,
that
that's
not?
U of T.
Yeah, of course.
I went to U of T.
The UT.
CHRY.
Yes, of course.
I had to Google it.
Embarrassing.
My son goes to York. Shout out to York University.
Nice. Yeah. So I had a great time doing this like Saturday night show. I believe it was like 11 p.m. till 2 a.m. or something. It was just the time slot no one else wanted.
But that's
and
when the
I
cool
had no
stuff gets
social
played.
life. So yeah, but I had this thing, a radio show. It was called The Independent Study.
Okay.
And it was basically a rip-off of Brave New Waves.
Of course.
I was a huge Brent Bambury fan and a huge Brave New Waves fan. I loved the way him and his team delved into the history of, indie rock and these great artists. So I basically mirrored that, and I did these little scripts on the Mudhoney and Nirvana before their big breakthrough or whatever. And
were you at Lee's Palace for the 1990 Nirvana gig pre-Dave Grohl when they just had Bleach out? Were you there?
No, I was at the Opera House show when they were right like the week before If Smells Like Teen Spirit became a hit. So close, but no cigar. So anyway, so I had this radio show and I was like, oh my God, radio's incredible. This is the way it is. And then when I got to Ryerson, I realized that was not what radio is. It's like you're based, my take on it at the time was that
Pun intended.
you had like 30 seconds to say some silly thing that happened in the news, and then everything was written for you. Real life radio.
Well, you
was
found
not
out that
Brave
these
New Waves. Let's put it that way. So.
You're right, and shout out to Bram Brambury. He's a good guy. But the DJs.
Is he a friend of Toronto?
He's an
right?
FOTM. Yeah, he's been here. That's a great episode too. We talk all about, because he's not the original host of Brave New Waves, but he's the one most remembered by people like you and I. But. Radio, like, you don't get to choose what you play. This is the great disappointment for us when we realize, because we grew up, I don't know about you, but I watched WKRP in Cincinnati, and I'm pretty sure Venus Flytrap was playing whatever record he wanted. Okay, that's the vibe I got. Like,
yeah.
And then you find out, no, they're not choosing these songs. But okay, I'm going to play one more song here, just a little bit of it, and then we're going to... Is this Neil Young or Hayden? I can't tell.
Don't get down. Don't waste time on things that you can't ever change. I know we all do. Write a song. All your new ones are the best you've ever sung. Write another one. And all you need to do is get away from everything. Quit this sad old scene. Come back when you feel the need. Well, I'll be here for you.
So here's something from Elk Lake Serenade. That word serenade, if I may, just for a moment. Near here, where you are now in New Toronto, there's a street called Lake Promenade. And sometimes when I'm listening to Google Maps telling me like how to get somewhere, it'll say, take a left on Lake Promenade. Like the American pronunciation is like promenade, but we all say promenade. And then I'm wondering, when I see a word like serenade, like, maybe it's supposed to be serenade. Am I overthinking this?
Yeah.
Okay, I've lost Hayden. He's taking a nap here. Okay, but 2004. I overthink things. 2004. This is the follow-up to Skyscraper National Park, Elk Lake Serenade. And this is what you mentioned, Cuff the Duke, earlier, right? That's where Anne-Marie's nephew? Mm-hmm. Cuff the Duke. Okay, so... what do you remember about this era before we bring you up to current time?
I don't know. I remember it as a really nice, good time. In 2001, like basically in the month before Skyscraper came out, I met my future wife, and you know, we fell in love, and I was in a nice zone. So and then I did shows for Skyscraper, and they went really well, and the response was really great, and I started feeling really good about playing music again. Not writing music but just presenting it to the public. I got rid of sort of the whole 90s, what that turned into in my mind, and I was just having more easy breezy time with it, and the expectations weren't quite as high. So anyway, I started feeling a bit like an underdog again, which was a more comfortable feeling. So yeah, no, I remember the recording of Elk Lake and the presentation of it with Cuff the Duke as the Elk Lake Serenaders as a really nice time. Yeah.
Okay, and then you're back, baby, because now it's like, now you're just gonna, write and make music. And fast forwarding to 2012, your seventh album comes out on Arts and Crafts.
Oh yeah, you really jumped there. Sure.
Well, yeah, but I don't know how much time you want to spend here. Are you comfortable with I didn't get the vibe you wanted to hang out for 4 hours. I would do 4 hours.
No,
so
if I had brought a sandwich, I could have done 4 hours.
Next time you bring a sandwich, bring a guitar, and
we should do why don't we do up until a certain date today, and then do a part 2 where I talk about.
I would do that if I believed. I'd have to stare you in the eyes and see whether you'll really come back. How did this
won't get you back?
It's like I would do that in a heartbeat if I knew you'd come back here. So how about this? Because I do want to bring you back.
We're drinking income taxes and the sand at our feet. We're on a beach, oh yeah, we're on a beach. We're drinking income taxes and you're fond of me. Just breathe out and in. Keep your eyes on this ring as I swing it back and forth on this here string. Eyelids are heavy wings. All the things that trouble you fall right out of the room and we begin. We're on a beach, oh yeah, we're on a beach. We're drinking income taxes and the sand at our feet. We're on a beach, oh yeah, we're on a beach. We're drinking income taxes and you're fond of me.
Now you take your turn and concentrate on the sound of my voice or the spaces in between my words, and find yourself in a world where you can simply relax. See most of your worries lapse or seem absurd.
We're on a beach, oh yeah, we're on a beach.
So the yada 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 through, I don't know, a good solid decade is because you are going to come back for the deeper dive into this era. But here, this is a 2023 jam, and that beautiful voice alongside Hayden's is Feist. Cool.
Yeah, very cool. She sounds so good.
Well, you guys sound good together here.
All the beauty that's right in front of me.
I wanna be, oh yeah, I wanna be where the sun rises behind palm trees. This ain't meant to be. Yeah, listen to all we.
I had, who did I have on here? A couple weeks, I guess it was about a month ago now. It's all blur, but Paul Langlois dropped by, and he brought his guitar. So next time you bring a guitar.
Oh.
So Paul Langlois was here, and we were talking about will the Tragically Hip ever do a tour again? Gord's no longer with us, but there is one instance since Gord's passing that the Tragically Hip did perform together with Leslie Feist on vocals.
Yeah, I saw the footage of that. It was powerful.
She's powerful, and it's great that you have her. You know, we talked about the move to arts and crafts, and this is from Are We Good?
Now I'm going to count from 1 to 3.
Oh, you have this
You're
version.
going to open your eyes, feeling fully aware, rested, calm, and relaxed. 1. You're feeling perfect in every way. Your mind and your body are quiet and comfortable. 2. You're slowly returning to your full awareness, feeling emotionally peaceful and serene. 3. Open your eyes.
Steve in the end there.
Is that Steve Buscemi, the aforementioned one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm rewatching The Sopranos with my wife because she's never seen The Sopranos, and yeah, Steve Buscemi's in there. Okay, so this is, again, a 2023 release. This album, Are We Good, is a 2023 release. We are speaking, Hayden, in 2023, but there was a pretty good gap there. Like what? How long between releases are we talking? Is it like 8 years or something like that?
Well, yeah, 2015, I released a record called Hey Love. That's the record that No Happy Birthday was on. And yeah, it's a long story, but yeah.
Is that for the sequel? Like when you come back? Because I'm going to look in the eyes in a minute, and we're going to, if you commit to coming back, I'll do another deep dive with you. But is it, if you can give us the Reader's Digest version now? Don't leave us hanging. Long story, but
yeah, the Reader's Digest is the short version is just that you when you're doing creative stuff, sometimes it's hard to do it. You're not feeling it. You can't find the time. Sometimes you struggle, sometimes it flows well. I've been doing it long enough to know not to panic if I'm not if things aren't coming, because they will. But you have to live and experience things to be inspired too. So,
but 8 years, right? That's
8 years. I don't know. I got sidetracked with doing some reissues and reissue tours, and my family life is absolutely complex, to say the least. My wife works a lot. There's a lot of things involved.
Yeah, you're not just a single guy who makes music. Like you've got a couple of kids, you got a wife, you've got other things going on.
Yes.
I'm getting you off the hook. That's my excuse too. Whenever something, I got 4 kids. Give me a break here. And holy smokes. Okay. So,
but we have to get something straight though.
Yeah.
Is that I've never been accused of being ambitious, and when things aren't ready till they're ready, I'm never in this huge rush to put something out because I feel pressure that I have to do the folk festival circuit on time or whatever. So
if it's 8 years, it's 8 years. It's no
I'm
sweat off your back.
not proud of it.
I'm not here to beat you up over it. You know how many albums I released in the last 8 years?
How many?
0.
That's right.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
But I did release, over 1,000 episodes of Toronto Mic'd, but not quite.
That is impressive.
Not quite the same creative content as a Hayden album. But Are We Good? It's out now. And when exactly is Dream Serenade again?
And Dream Serenade is Saturday, October 21st at Massey Hall.
That's amazing. And I think, I'll be honest, we know each other a little bit because our kids played on the same soccer team this summer. But legit, I've been waiting, I think, if I do the math on this, I think I've been waiting, Mike, do math. Okay, like 30 years to have a chat with you because I've been loving your music for 3 decades and I think you're incredible. And I just want to say thank you for dropping by and chatting with me. And I can't wait for the sequel. So I'm looking in the eyes. I'm looking Hayden in the eyes. You got beautiful eyes.
She's really buttering me up for the sequel.
Would you come back for a sequel so you don't have to do the 4-hour episode here today? Will you come back for a sequel? I'll get you more lasagna.
Yeah. Well,
More beer.
Yeah, why not?
Is that a commitment?
Sure, but I mean, I don't know when.
It can
but
be, heck, it could be summer 2024.
yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. Yeah, why not? Why not?
You heard it here first.
And thank you. You're very sweet. You're very sweet.
Well, invite me over for that lasagna, and
Oh, I only get to take it if you come
that's
over
the deal.
to eat
1,000 people come over, they get a lasagna, but they have to invite me over when they cook it. No, enjoy. Dude, you're amazing. Congrats again on all your success. And Dream Serenade is such a wonderful event at a great venue, and it's for a great cause. And good on you for doing that. I think that's amazing, too.
Thank you, Mike.
Do you know the guys from Lowest of the Low?
I know a couple of them, yeah. They're very nice.
Which couple?
What's his face and what's his name?
Ron Hawkins and
Yeah.
Lawrence Nichols.
No, Lawrence Nichols. I know, I know Ron. Ron's great. I'm just joking around.
Yeah. Ron Hawkins' voice will be the voice we hear in a moment. And that brings us to the end of our 1,336th show. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Toronto Mike. Hayden doesn't really tweet. Like I've been tagging you on tweets for the last week promoting this episode, and it's like crickets coming from your Twitter account.
Oh.
You don't log in. You've had enough of that place.
Yeah, ever since the icon changed to the X.
Fuck that. Where should we go to learn about? Hey, like, do you have a social media place? Like, is it Instagram? Is there a place we can go?
Yeah, that's my connection to. Yeah, it's Instagram.
So find Hayden Desser. I don't know if we ever mentioned that word on this show. I'm just gonna. You're like Cher, Madonna. Like you're just Feist. We don't call her Leslie Feist. It's Feist. You're just Hayden, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, that's the way it is, I guess.
Much love to all who help make this possible. That's Great Lakes Brewery. That's Palma Pasta. That's Raymond James Canada. That's Moneris. That's Recycle My Electronics. That's Pumpkins After Dark. Use that promo code TOMike15. And that's Ridley Funeral Home. See you all tomorrow. And this is interesting. My special guest is a woman named Catherine McClanahan, and she was the very first female VJ at Much Music. And she flew to Toronto from LA to see the debut of this, the premiere of the 299 Queen Street West documentary about Much Music. And she's got some concerns and wants to chat about what she perceives to be a great slight that she might have been deleted from the history. But we're going to talk about that tomorrow. See you all then.
Maybe the one who doesn't realize there's 1,000 shades of gray. 'Cause I know that's true, yes I do. I know it's true, yeah. I know it's true. How about you? Oh, they're picking up trash and they're putting down roads. And they're brokering stocks, the class struggle explodes. And I play this guitar just the best that I can. Well, maybe I'm not and maybe I am. Who gives a damn, because everything is coming up rosy and green. Yeah, the wind is cold, but the smell of snow warms me today. And your smile is fine and it's just like mine and it won't go away. 'Cause everything is rosy and gray. Well, I've kissed you in France and I've kissed you in Spain. And I've kissed you in places I better not name. And I've seen the sun go down on Shakra